Oui, le stream est encore cassé, il y a de l'orage dehors, donc j'espère que ça va pas crash en plein milieu. Pas comme ça fait d'habitude. Ce serait sympa. Je suis en train d'envoyer des trucs, donc ne vous inquiétez pas, c'est tout à fait normal pour le moment. J'ai chaud déjà. Je crois que normalement tout est bon. C'est une porte, ne vous inquiétez pas, c'est tout à fait normal. Ça, tac, tac. Bon, alléluia.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. Why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything, even to...
But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back.
Because whatever it is you're up to, I do not want to know.
Since then, we have become one and the same. We have officially erased the identity of my sister Emma. Emily Hillsborough. The woman with two faces.
Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
Je sais pas ce qui vient de se passer, mais ça vient d'être très étrange. Il y a un orage dehors. Et il commence à repleuvoir, donc je vais devoir fermer les volets. Attention les gars, ça va encore. J'espère que ça va pas crash. Maintenant, une en interrogatoire. C'est quoi? J'ai quoi là? J'ai manipulation, subterfuge. Diversion, non. Manipulation, ça c'est logique. Je vais prendre logique, je pense. Ouais. C'est de la crypto, il y avait un gars qui était en train de me passer derrière moi.
Louis, the conference is about to start any minute. This is not the time to be... Damn it. What's going on?
I don't know exactly, Mr. President. I was looking for my mother and I came upon this body.
My God. You don't think Sarah did it, do you?
Il est immunisé contre politique.
Mr. President, you really shouldn't get involved. Please be on your way. I'll take care of this. You didn't come this way and you didn't see anything.
You're right, it's for the best. If Sarah did that, I don't know what kind of hornet's nest she's kicked open. but I do wish
Ça
you
va,
luck.
c'est un vrai bro, tu vois. Il balance pas. Papa America
The
est
conference is
respectueux.
starting. Time is of the essence. Sort this out and join us as quickly as you can in the conference room. Everyone will be expecting you.
Mr. President, this is not really the right time, and I didn't come for that.
Your mother's seat cannot remain vacant. You must replace her while she's still missing. Your mother and I were to support Mortimer on this project. I don't know what the subject is, but the future of our countries depends on it. Given the importance of all this to Mortimer, he won't let the conference begin without you. So if you don't want more servants coming looking for you, I'd advise you to join us quickly and to put a brave face on it. The best favor you can do for yourself, Louis, and for Sarah, is to come and support Mortimer's project at the conference.
Don't worry. You can count on me, Mr. President. I shall help you with Mortimer's project as soon as I've finished up here.
Good, Louis. Sarah would be proud of you. I'll stall them while you're on your way, but make haste. I'm going. Don't be long.
Tell them that I'm on my way.
Well, the gate is locked.
On va probablement avoir besoin d'une clé.
Leftover food. Ugh, an old blanket. From the looks of it, it couldn't have kept her very warm. Leftover food. Ugh, not exactly fresh. Must have been here for a while. Someone's made a fire here, and the ashes are still warm.
If you're the one who did it, Mother, it couldn't have been easy with only one hand. I must have just missed her. If only I hadn't wasted so much time getting out of Lord Mortimer's study.
Non, sans déconner. Oh putain. Un autre bouquin. Cette page.
Oh, he's dead. What the hell's been going on here?
Let's see what secret's hidden under these masks. His face doesn't ring a bell. I'm a bit disappointed. Might have expected more from Lord Mortimer.
Mother, if this is your doing, the situation is getting worse and worse.
Ouh, ça c'est agréable. Moi je t'en demande, on va essayer de cacher le corps, en fait non pas du tout. Et c'est où ça? J'ai aucune... Ah bah ça doit être cette salle justement, parce qu'on n'y est pas encore allé. Bon, faut que je retrouve ma route, bon, ça va être drôle ça. Ça va être drôle. On peut pas rentrer par là. Évidemment que non. Comment? Ouais. C'est très bizarre tout ça. Bon, je suis désolé si vous entendez la pluie ou l'orage derrière, mais Je crève de chaud. Voilà, donc c'est cette salle, je m'en doutais. La salle du rez-de-chaussée qu'on n'a pas vue. Ah ouais. Putain, dans le chelou, je vois pourquoi c'est mal. C'est le conseil en anglais. Le nom de Dieu.
I have suspected it.
Ah donc c'est une carte murale, ouais. Ils sont juste là. Est-ce que je peux m'immiscer dans sur les autres groupes? Oui.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of water.
Answering her, but she said he seemed quite angry at being spoken to.
But it is not sound. You know it is not sound.
Your conjecture is totally wrong, I assure you.
I have suspected it for some time,
Ah, c'est ce que je me disais, j'avais les deux.
I have already told her so once, by your
Oh non, j'ai les royaumes.
Are you quite sure, sir? Is there not a little mistake somewhere?
A fragment of amber.
Si, c'est bien, j'avais bien vu quelque chose. Ah.
My son, glad you're here. It seems Lord Mortimer's been waiting for you to arrive before beginning. What a pity your mother isn't here for the conference. I hope I'll be able to see her before I leave. I still have a very important letter to give to her.
Feeling all right, Louis? You look like you're miles away.
Everything's fine. Don't worry.
Lord Mortimer wants to talk to you, Louis. Don't make him wait.
Indeed, I rather believe he did.
I don't know if you ever found what you were looking for in the garden, but Mortimer is waiting for you. I suggest you get a move on.
You say it as if you were afraid of him.
Psychologie. Attends, il est où? Il est là. Il est vulnérable à la psychologie.
I sense that you have things you'd like to say, but something's holding you back. What is going on between you two?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I believed in him. I followed him to the best of my ability. I championed his ideas, defended his decisions, and then, without even realizing it, I became lost. The siren's song, Monsieur de Richet. You wake up one morning, not knowing where you are, and you think about everything you've done for a man who wasn't even worth it. For a man who has no respect for you, who uses you, and who drops you as soon as he no longer needs you. For me, it's too late now. But you still have a choice. Don't respond to his call, sir.
Disons, je lui fais pas confiance à Mortimer, je suis vraiment...
Good evening, gentlemen. Are we ready? The much-awaited conference is about to begin?
That is what we have all been waiting for.
I believe that Lord Mortimer wishes to speak to you before it begins. You should go and see him.
Ouais, personne ne veut me parler ni rien avant le truc qui commence. Je le vois parler avec papa America. Qu'est-ce qui brille? Oh putain, j'en ai trop de ces trucs, ça abuse.
Ah, Louis, I've been expecting you.
C'est la croix de Malte, oui. Et ça guérit les ok.
Thank you for joining us. We are about to begin our conference. Let me explain what is at stake.
Thank you kindly, but what do you expect of me exactly? My mother's the one who's supposed to attend, not me.
That is indeed what was initially intended. Unfortunately, she still hasn't been found, and my guests can't stay here indefinitely. The conference must begin, and it would be truly beneficial to the Order to join in the project. Consequently, I would like you to replace her during her absence. What is at stake here is of the utmost importance.
It's important that the French Order gets their say. And should you need any advice, don't worry. You are not alone, Louis.
Very well. In concrete terms, how do you organize your discussions?
A conference is always organized the same way. There are two Masters of Ceremony who determine an important subject.
You and Sir Gregory, I presume.
Exactly. We shall be the Masters of Ceremony. It was our obligation to each bring to the table several guests in order to debate a subject. Once the debate is closed, a decision will be made by a vote of all the participants.
By a unanimous vote. If the project is not agreed on by all, then it will be rejected.
And neither of the two Masters of Ceremony have the right to vote.
It's up to the guests alone to decide, Louis. In other words, us.
Gregory and myself are merely the go-betweens. Finally, if the project is validated, each guest goes home and starts working to make it happen.
It can take years.
Can you give an explanation of the aim of it all?
Of course, Louis, I was coming to that. The aim of these meetings is to bring together the most influential people in order to think together about the future.
But the future of who?
Of the world, Louis.
Our desire is to steer the destiny of our respective countries for the good of all, and to no longer suffer the random hazards of history.
Do you often hold this kind of society dinner?
In general, once a year, but in actual fact it tends to be events that dictate our gatherings.
How long have you been active?
Oh, this tradition has more or less always existed, Louis. It has continued from generation to generation.
Can you give me an example of an event that was decided here before being implemented in the outside world?
Well, take the French Revolution. It was decided right here 2 years before its implementation in France.
Concerning the case of the French Revolution, I wasn't invited. But as far as the American Revolution is concerned, Louis, I can testify that we planned it 5 years before implementing it.
Putain, 5 ans quand même, moi.
Louis, let me keep you a moment. I would like to let you in on a secret before we begin, because I'm going to need your assistance. You see, the project I'm going to present concerns the territory of Louisiana in North America. It's currently Spanish territory, and I'm going to make the proposition to the Assembly for it to become French.
But how does that concern me?
Well, you see, I prepared this project with your mother. We began thinking about a crazy idea. Unfortunately, Sarah went missing before getting the bigger picture. I don't intend to stop at Louisiana. My idea is to increase the territory of the United States. The first stone of this vast project consists of getting Spain to cede Louisiana to France. Once it becomes French, France will hand it over to the United States, which will then allow them to double the size of their territory. And that's where you come in. France and the United States, hand in hand, two democracies illuminating the world.
Qu'est-ce que je sais de Mortimer? Il m'unisait contre les séances. Et c'est tout ce que j'ai. Je pense pas que ça donne...
Lord Mortimer, I'm sure you're aware that Louisiana is hardly prime quality land. I wouldn't be exaggerating to call it marshland. How is acquiring land they won't know what to do with going to strengthen the United States?
Think further, Louis. The United States won't stop there. Once they've acquired Louisiana, nothing will stop them. All they would have to do then is keep pushing toward the west to take the whole North American continent.
So you intend to get rid of the Spanish?
They are purely transitory. This is the settlers' home. It is natural for them to want to develop their nation to become one of the greatest powers of this world. As for the Spanish, there are just a handful of them actually on site. And if need be, we'll see to it that they are sufficiently occupied in Europe so that their focus is not on the North American continent. Moreover, Spain really only cares about its colonies in South America. It's hardly my fault if they are not capable of seeing the potential in the North American territories. The concept of royalty is from bygone times. It is time to lead the way to democracy. Take a look at them. Apart from President Washington, they all belong to monarchies. Do you really think they won't resist? Of course they'll fight, fearful as they are of losing their precious privileges. But the world needs visionaries, like you. Like your mother. It's a pity Sarah isn't here to see it. She only knew about a tiny part of the project. I hope I can count on you, Louis. It's time to start now. I must ask you to keep it to yourself for the time being. Take a seat, follow the discussions. We'll have an opportunity to catch up later, and you'll be able to let me know your thoughts.
Confiance zéro.
My friends, I propose we get started. First of all, I would like to thank you for taking the time to come.
The honor is ours, my lord.
As per our custom, here we are all together to discuss the face of tomorrow's world. Even though there may be certain tensions between our nations, I must ask you to keep an open mind. As Sarah de Richet is unable to be among us, please welcome Louis de Richet, who will represent the Golden Order and will vote on its behalf when the time comes.
Welcome among us, Louis.
Welcome, Monsieur.
I hope he'll be more effective than his mother regarding the protection of the King of France. The Order has proved particularly inefficient.
Come, Manuel, you're not going to spoil our visit. The Order's mission was not to protect King Louis XVI, as far as I am aware.
We are talking about a king of divine blood, for goodness sake. It seemed obvious to me he needed protecting. If the Golden Order wants to pride itself on being an influential organization, it should have kept him alive.
Thank you all. I am honored to be among you today. I will strive to represent the interests of the Order as best I can.
Perhaps we may begin, Lord Mortimer.
Je pense que j'ai activé le truc trop tôt, mais c'est pas grave.
That our nations will continue to support each other, more now than ever before. A dream that, for the sake of common good, we will do what it takes to ensure stability in the modern world. I have a dream that we shall lead by example and ensure that the American territory may remain in peace.
Thank you for the thought, Lord Mortimer, but I don't see where you're leading.
I'm coming to it, Mr. President. I need not remind you that North America is currently divided between the United States on the east coast and Spain, which occupies the remaining 2/3 of the continent. Well, I propose that Spain cede the center of the continent to France, namely all of Louisiana.
Louisiana? But, well, it is not for sale. Lord Mortimer, I sincerely hope I have not come all this way just to hear you ramble on about what Spain should and should not do. When we went to all the trouble of gaining the territory a few years ago, it was not just to lose it today. Have I made myself clear?
What did I tell you, William? You speak of union, and yet here you are, about to tear us apart.
Duke Manuel, I perfectly understand you. But rest assured, you will soon adore my proposition. You shall see.
Well, since you give me the choice, my good fellow, allow me to doubt it. However, I am impatient to hear what Spain could possibly gain from the sale of Louisiana.
I never spoke of a sale, my good fellow.
What? I do not understand.
There is one more territory left to conquer, if I'm not mistaken, in the northwest. It is, of course, occupied by your notorious Indians, but...
We shall soon be rid of the savages, so that is not the question.
Duke Manuel, I believe that Spain should cede Louisiana to France, free of charge.
This is utterly grotesque, Lord Mortimer. What a strange example you set for your young protégé. Isn't that so, Monsieur de Richet? Do you understand anything of this proposition?
If I were you, Senor Godoy, I would think twice before stirring up a scandal.
I beg your pardon?
Given the size of your colonies, you won't be able to keep them for long. A number of countries are eyeing them as we speak. The United States would have no trouble taking them. For all intents and purposes, you have no army in place. By wanting to keep everything, you risk losing it all, especially your colonies in South America, which are far more valuable to you.
That is indeed the danger, Duke Manuel. If it comes to war over Louisiana, you will lose. And probably a good deal more than you now imagine.
Young man, you are indeed a dark horse, aren't you?
T'inquiète, je prends des chicha, ça marche toujours.
I find your project mostly disfavors me. I thought you were my friend.
And I am, Mr. President. That is why I'm doing everything in my power to calm your expansionist fervor. France, in Louisiana, should persuade you not to attempt anything to take the territory by force. Louisiana is a vast wetland where you would needlessly lose most of your troops. It would weaken you and offer certain nations the perfect opportunity to take back your famous United States. I am protecting you from yourself, George. Trust me.
I understand. But with friends like you, sir, I certainly don't need any more enemies. I hope you know what you're doing.
Am I imagining things, or does it look like Washington isn't aware of Mortimer's plan?
Not to put too fine a point on it, Lord Mortimer, but I doubt the Holy See would be in favor of Catholic Louisiana being handed over to secular revolutionaries and king killers.
I should think Monsieur de Richet has an opinion on this subject, does he not?
Oh, attends. Ça c'est... Attends. À la manipulation, mais la ça me dit pas que c'est mauvais. Ça me dit pas que c'est mauvais.
If France took the Papal States, their opinion over the sale of Louisiana would be definitely resolved.
Good Lord. You are talking of an invasion of Italy.
Don't take it the wrong way, Your Eminence. Colonization brings with it many benefits. You'll see.
Very funny, Monsieur de Richet. Mi auguro che insegnerete l'educazione a questo giovanotto presuntuoso, Sir Gregory.
I hope that you will teach this pretentious young man some manners, Sir Gregory. It looks like I won't be just making friends here.
In any case, my lord, I doubt the English crown will agree.
Ich versichere Ihnen, Emily, nie Preußen wird diese Vereinbarung akzeptieren.
Allez, ça va zoom son front. Merci, j'ai la compétence linguistique.
The Prussian will never accept this agreement.
Ok, personne le suit.
Set on ruining Mortimer's plan.
Duchess, I am persuaded that we shall find a common ground.
That's enough, William. These are grave times. We don't care about the fate of Louisiana. That worthless expanse of putrid swamps interests no one but yourself.
Speak for yourself, my friend.
Hold on there, Mr. Royal Gigolo. Lower the volume, and let Sir Gregory finish.
Home, Godoy, and now Volner? Mortimer's adversaries are ready to tear each other to pieces, and he takes a malicious pleasure in watching it happen.
How dare
Gentlemen, let us try to remain calm.
There you are.
Ils essayent plus, je pense, de les briser que de les aider.
Taken us, as per usual. Chaos! That's enough. I'm tired. We shall continue this discussion tomorrow, but please be aware that your project will never be ratified. Those who are opposed to this project, follow me. Are you coming with us, Monsieur de Richet?
Come, Gregory. I think Louis would rather stay. Wouldn't you, Louis?
Regarde comment ils te regardent tous, quoi. Me dis pas que c'est pas stressant, ça. Mortimer, il est complètement foireux. Son plan est complètement foireux. Et je fais pas confiance à Mortimer, donc.
Displeasing you, my lord, I'd rather follow Sir Gregory. I don't think this is a place for the Order.
Louis? No.
Let him go, Mr. President. Everyone is free to choose.
Après ce qu'il vient de se bouffer, le gars, j'ai envie de te dire.
How can he be so blind? If he keeps this up, he'll lead our countries to their destruction.
Don't worry, we shall counter him, Sir Gregory.
We have to act immediately.
Calm down, Gregory. We only have to vote against his project, and that's it.
They haven't got a chance. Just one vote will suffice.
True. There is no chance of a unanimous vote. And he knows it. He must be preparing something else. What is he plotting?
I know about his plan.
What did you just say, Louis?
His aim is for the United States to take the whole of the North American continent.
But that is impossible.
A democratic superpower.
I don't understand. That has nothing to do with the coming vote.
You will ask for France to take over Louisiana, and then hand it over to the United States, and so double the size of their territory.
Once that's done, he will just need to push a bit more, and you will lose North America, Duke Manuel.
God's blood! Has he gone mad?
No, Johann. He has always been mad. Louis, I would like to thank you for what you've just revealed. If not for you, I don't know if we'd have been capable of deciphering his plans quickly enough to be able to counter him.
What are we going to do now that we know about it?
Destroy him.
No! We'll beat him at his own game, my friends. His plan begins with Louisiana, which is still yours, Duke Manuel. He will begin with you. Expect to receive an envoy, French most probably. He will try to convince you by every possible means. Whatever he says, whatever he promises, you have just one response. It's war. If war is what you want, war is what you'll get. And on your own territory, in your homes. Enough games. Spain will join the coalition against France and declare war. You too, Duchess Hillsborough. You will speak to the Queen so that Great Britain commits to going to war with France.
What do you expect from the Papal States, Sir Gregory?
What do you think? That they hold a mass? They will go to war, of course. What is it that you didn't understand in what I just told you? We all declare war on France. Militarily, politically, and financially.
And me, Sir Gregory? How can I help?
Louis, you have won my trust. The Order will have to act in France, but even before that, I'm going to need you. Right here and right now. Leave me now. I have to prepare for tomorrow. Let's meet early tomorrow morning for the next phase of the conference, which promises to be most exciting. Louis? I'd like to see you a moment, please. Thank you for siding with me today. I won't forget it. I'm going to need you. Help me counter Mortimer on his own ground. Right here. I'm sure he'll try and win some of you over. He needs our votes. Now, you leave that to me. In the meantime, I must ask you to go and see President Washington and persuade him to trust me.
D'un autre côté, ça lui profite à lui.
Do you really think that I'll be able to convince him?
I'm not saying it's going to be, but I have total faith in you. He likes you, and thus he won't see you coming. You must be careful, though. If he senses that you are trying to manipulate him, he'll dig in his heels. Louis, use every means at your disposal. If Washington drops Mortimer, his defeat will be complete. You should go right away. There's no time to lose. William already has a head start on us.
Very well. I'll go right away.
Comme ça pue leur histoire. Oh lolo, comme ça pue.
Chronicles of the Amber Princess. As I recall, Dorkin was my favorite character.
Moi j'ai cru que c'était pour ramasser un bouquin. En fait non.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Putain, 3 auxiliaires d'or là-dedans, sans déconner. Ouais, mais j'ai l'impression qu'on est un peu voué la France à la destruction totale là pour le coup. Du coup, c'est pour ça, je suis pas complètement fan de ça. Tu vois, c'est pas forcément une bonne chose. Il est où Washington? Ah, complètement de l'autre côté. Attendez 2 petites secondes, je vais faire... J'ai envoyé quelque chose à quelqu'un. Vite fait. Qu'est-ce qui vient de se passer ici?
Hey, Peru's name tag's fallen off, and his door is ajar.
Oh, j'ai pas confiance.
Dear Monsieur...
All right, I've retrieved everything.
Ouais, on dirait qu'il a pété une pile. Pourquoi il dit que je suis là? What? Ah, donc je suis passé là, et là ça va être les chambres de Bonaparte. Et je peux rentrer dans les chambres de Bonaparte. Dans les appartements, pardon.
Leave me, Deriche. I don't feel like talking.
Restez en regardant le ciel.
Your door was ajar, and well, given the state of your room, I was worried.
It's none of your business.
Very well. I'll leave you then. See you tomorrow, monsieur.
Lui, je sais pas ce qui va lui arriver, mais il va y avoir une couille. Par contre, je vais passer par les trucs de Bonaparte, parce que nique la logique. Ah oui, je suis dans sa chambre. En mode full intrusion totale. Et je peux pas... Si le jeu me laisse passer ici, c'est-à-dire qu'il peut-être qu'il y a quelque chose, non? Il aime bien les échecs en tout ça. En tout cas, à mon avis, la logique, il est immunisé contre. C'est peut-être moi qui délire après. Et là, ouais, je peux pas y accéder. Ah, putain. Oui, des fois la posture des gars, des personnages bug un peu. Mais... Franchement, depuis ça, ça doit être le seul bug que j'ai rencontré pour le moment. Donc, ça va. Ça va, ça va. Et tu vois, je me demande... C'était ça qu'il y avait de toute façon dans sa chambre à l'autre.
Monsieur Napoléon Bonaparte.
Attends. Je peux pas rentrer de l'autre côté, mais je peux rentrer là, quoi. Attends, mais il est pas ici.
The Beaucaire dinner. It hasn't been signed yet, but there's a letter with it. So, Bonaparte is going to publish a book that he didn't write. That crafty little rascal. It isn't signed. That's some quality paper. And that handwriting, I'd say it's Mortimer's.
Donc, Mortimer essaye peut-être de racheter Napoléon.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough. Duke Manuel Godoy. Don Quixote. Talking without thinking is like shooting without taking aim. I have to think about that one.
On peut sortir dehors. Non, je crois pas que je sois rentré une fois, de toute façon. Ils sont où tous? On dirait ils ont tous disparu, wesh. J'aime bien comment je pique des bouquins à travers à travers tout le manoir et personne se doute de ces bouquins qui disparaissent, tu sais. Non mais c'est ça. Prince d'Ambre. Qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Oh. Ah du coup j'en ai gagné 2. C'est trop bien. C'est seulement je pouvais les remplir. Ce serait quand même vachement mieux.
Mary Louise of Parma. How ironic having a painting of the Queen of Spain in one's room, my Lord Duke.
Je vois pas vraiment l'intérêt, mais...
It looks like someone's hidden something on the back of this painting. It's a letter. Of course, it's written in Spanish.
Ça va être encore une lettre d'amour, je le
It
sens.
reeks of lavender. Well, well, Mr. Godoy. You seem very interested in hiding this letter. Another secret romance, I presume?
Voilà, je m'en doutais.
So, let's see what it says.
Dans les exilures d'or, on a tout ce qu'il faut.
It seems that the Queen isn't the only one enjoying the Lord Duke's favors. If the Queen found out, it would cost him dearly. I'll keep it with me. You never know.
Donc on a une petite moyenne de pression sur lui. Je pense que si on avait suivi Mortimer, c'est ce qu'il nous fallait nous trouver pour le faire pour mettre une pression. De l'autre côté. Et là ça accède à mes appartements, d'accord. Et là il y a toujours personne je crois. T'imagines, on surprend quelqu'un dans la chambre. Ça serait trop bien. Ça foutrait un de ces bordels. Ah ah non, c'est Piaget, c'est celle du cardinal là. LOL. On peut passer là? Ah oui. Donc on n'est jamais venu encore ici.
My dear Giuseppe, poor health forbids me from joining you. Please thank Sir Gregory for his invitation to Lord Mortimer's. I'm convinced you'll be able to strengthen our agreements. Please tell Sir Gregory.
Putain, mais c'est bizarre, il y a personne?
Venus and Cupid with a satyr, by Correggio. Innocence, indiscretion, and lechery. Giuseppe must love that.
Comment je l'ai envoyé balader tout à l'heure.
Amber crystals.
Ah ah. Oui, ça se trouve, j'en ai loupé, hein. Je n'en doute pas que j'en ai loupé des fragments. Donc, tant pis, hein. Si seulement j'avais de quoi les régène à full, les fragments. Ah. Mais non, ça ne dit pas qu'il a un truc en logique. Non. Il y a aussi des lettres que tu peux pas prendre. C'est con ça. Plus j'en apprends sur eux, mieux ça m'aide, hein, les gars. Bah ouais. C'est toujours mieux quoi. Évidemment c'est de l'autre côté.
Huh, that's me.
Ça on peut toujours pas y rentrer. Non. Ça se trouve elle est là juste pour la déco, tu sais. Oui. Après le reste c'est quoi? Donc voilà, c'est Daddy America. S'ils ont enlevé le corps au moins. Comment ça c'est que toutes les bougies sont allumées, wesh? Ouais, les lettres. Non, j'inspecte si quelque chose n'a pas changé par tous les hasards du monde. J'ai pas l'impression. Bon, on va s'éclater. On sait un truc, c'est qu'il est immunisé à la politique. Voilà. Le truc que j'aime pas dans le jeu, c'est quand tu utilises le truc pour voir les faiblesses et les immunités, ça te le met pas dans ton... dans ton...
Locked.
Ah, comment c'est? Ton journal, je vais y arriver. C'est... Imhotep, hein.
The president's personal reserve of laudanum, and judging by the quantity, you can't go without it. Ah, there's also a letter.
Et un fragment d'ombre. Bah il est pas là. Je peux pas sortir dehors. Bah alors. Bah il est où Bah il est où Daddy America? Ça c'est tout en haut. Je suis au premier, rez-de-chaussée, jardin, l'extérieur. C'est vrai qu'on n'est toujours pas allé à l'extérieur.
Louis? What are you doing in my room?
Je dirais qu'on s'est trompé de chance, soit direct.
As I walked by your room, I noticed the door was open. I wanted to check that no one had gone in.
And what is the outcome of your investigation, Inspector de Richet?
Go ahead. Laugh it off. I didn't see anyone, Mr. President.
Splendid. All is safe and sound. Well, since you're here, can I get you something to drink?
Je l'aime bien.
No, thank you, Mr. President.
As you wish. Well, Louis, it's getting late, and this is not my first conference, so let's get straight to the point. You are here to motivate me to change sides.
I hope you're not angry at me. I know that you...
Louis, we are not children. You have your reasons. You will understand that your word no longer holds any value for me. But these things do happen. I only hope you know what you're doing. This is your first conference, and not following the Master of Ceremony who backed you seems somewhat perilous. But you are young, after all. So what can I do for you?
President Washington, I regret that my situation is contrary to yours, especially as I really do respect you.
Me too, Louis. Let us not mix business and emotion.
Understood. I've just come from a meeting with Sir Gregory and his supporters. They are all rallying against Mortimer's project.
That is to be expected.
Great Britain, the Kingdom of Spain and Sicily,
Regardez bien en
the
bas de
Kingdom of
l'écran,
Prussia, the Holy
message.
Empire, the Kingdom of
Look at the
Portugal,
bottom of the
of Bohemia,
screen,
and of
the
Hungary.
message.
I know, Louis.
Tell me in
I
the
know.
chat.
The coalition against France also gives me cause for concern. I'm certainly not saying that, on paper, Mortimer's plan seems very viable. Anyway, you haven't really said what you wanted to say. Tell me, Louis, what have you come here to sell me?
You should join home.
And why would I do that?
Fais-le chanter sur le lalindon. Vous m'en devez une, parce que vous êtes déjà alliés à l'ennemi contre la France. Le truc est actif et ça ne
This
dit
type
pas
of
que c'est
meeting
mauvais.
might be familiar to you, but for me, I must admit, Mr. President, it's all a bit over my head.
It's only natural, Louis. But you are managing rather well for a first-timer. You've chosen the wrong allies, that's all.
I hope my mother doesn't hold it against me if I made a mistake. Anyway, if Lord Mortimer does succeed, it would be no mean feat. Did he tell you what he would gain from it?
What do you mean?
Well, Mortimer's plan has been meticulously prepared for many years, I imagine.
Of that you can be sure.
It's only natural, and his plan leaves nothing to chance.
No, that's what...
He never commits his own fortune, let alone his reputation, since you're the one who takes center stage here.
In fact...
Whether he wins or loses, everything is arranged so that he comes out of it intact.
Yes,
You've got to hand it to him, though. He's a master at putting together a plan which puts himself at no risk.
That's true. Don't worry, you can trust him.
Of course. I'll bet he's invested in a river transport company on the Mississippi or somewhere like that.
It's true I had never thought about what he might have to gain. Tell me what Sir Gregory has to offer that I don't already have with Lord Mortimer.
You are a man of conviction, Mr. President. You would never make a choice that could cost the American people very dearly. If Mortimer falls, he will bring the United States down with him. Haven't the American people suffered enough?
I would never do anything that would put my people in danger.
Exactly. Therefore, choose your allies wisely, sir.
I must admit, your arguments do make sense, Louis. Louis, you've convinced me. I congratulate you for your performance, because I didn't think...
Briseur d'alliance. Vous gagnez un point politique. Je suis un connard, je suis un connard, je suis un connard.
I merely expose the facts to you.
Don't spoil everything with your false modesty now. You really were very good.
Félicité par Daddy
In any
America,
case,
ma gueule.
I shall follow you on this one. This may well arouse Lord Mortimer's wrath, but I must put the United States before anything else. Have we finished, Louis?
Absolutely, Mr. President. I shan't keep you any longer. Allow me to take my leave.
Good night, Louis. Get some rest. Tomorrow will be a very big day.
Well, that's one thing out of the way. Only thing left to do is wait for the conference to resume tomorrow morning.
Et tu vois là maintenant, ça dit allez vous coucher. Et c'est dans ce genre de moment que je me dis que y a quelque chose qui se passe dans le bâtiment que si t'as pas l'idée d'aller voir, ça marche pas, tu vois. Ouais, j'en ai pas de trucs gratos. Et comme j'ai pas de points, je pense qu'on aura le choix d'y aller demain. Qu'on pourra y aller demain, en tout cas. Oui. Ah. Qu'est-ce qui... Quelqu'un. Oui.
Good evening, Monsieur le Français.
Duchess, you're here. What a charming surprise. I'm beginning to think you can't be without me.
You have managed to penetrate my armor, sir. Am I disturbing you, perhaps?
Va dormir, Louis, ce n'est pas le moment.
That's not what I said.
Ah, by the way, congratulations on choosing Sir Gregory this evening. You surprised me. I wasn't expecting it.
Why, Emily, can't you read me like an open book?
Not as well as you read me, it would seem.
I'll teach you if you'd like.
There's nothing I'd like more.
Tell me, are these visits to Mortimer's always so intense?
Yes and no. My sister doesn't normally disappear like she has. Any news of your mother?
Well, I should imagine you're still shaken. I promise to shed light on my mother's circumstances as soon as possible.
There's not much to shed light on. What your mother did is inexcusable. She won the trust of my sister in order to more easily betray her. She didn't do anything to her. Can we change subject, please? I didn't come here to go through all that again.
Of course, it's late. You're right.
Non. Allez, c'est parti mon ami. Wouh.
Come, Louis.
Allez, c'est reparti pour avoir des visions de la mort.
My friends, do not worry. I assure you that Lord Mortimer's plan will never see the light of day. I shall deal with informing our allies, but for the time being, I need you to make a stand.
What do you think about Monsieur de Richet?
I don't know yet. I feel there's great potential in him.
He looks like he can be trusted.
Why isn't he with us? He was opposed to Mortimer.
I'll wait and see. I'm still not sure of his position.
And Duchess Hillsborough, why isn't she here?
She's busy. Don't worry about her.
Oh, isn't it time to replace her?
Not so fast, sir. She is an important figure. You ought to have a little more faith in her.
What are we going to do about Washington?
He will be a hard nut to crack. On our chessboard, he is Mortimer's king.
Don't worry. Mr. President only wants one thing. To keep his dear America.
C'est inquiétez pas ça, les gars, c'est géré.
He won't jeopardize everything he has achieved on a whim.
He has been serving Mortimer for quite some time. It won't be easy to bring him around. I have asked Monsieur de Richet to approach him. Let us have faith in him. I sense that Mr. Peru is about to surprise us too.
Yet he is Mortimer's strong arm in France.
He knows his time has come, and I believe he is intelligent enough to realize it means he is no longer any use to Mortimer. Do you feel all right, Mr. Godoy? You haven't said a word.
Please, excuse me, gentlemen. I feel tired.
Oh, I see. I think it is high time you left us then. Now!
Pardon? Assez inattendu ça. Est-ce qu'il sait que je suis là? Est-ce qu'il aurait déjà remarqué ma présence?
Emily? Emily? Are you there? Typical. There she goes again. What's with this habit of hers of taking off in the middle of the night?
Ça se trouve, elle change de place avec sa jumelle, tu sais, en fait, elle est pas disparue, elle se fout juste de notre gueule.
Sir, the conference is about to begin. You are expected in the conference room.
Tell them I'm coming. Thank you.
Come on, Louis. The game is back on.
Dites-moi que j'ai nouveau des points. Putain, allez! Non mais je vais y aller tout nul là, sans déconner. Putain.
My friends, the conference is about to begin. Please excuse me if I troubled you last night with my project. I understand that you might well have a few questions to ask. As you know, the final vote will be cast in a few days.
Dans quelques jours.
This morning's aim is to answer your questions and check the temperature of your respective positions.
Mais Napoléon, à mon avis, il a la botte de Mortimer.
As always, Lord Mortimer.
We parted in perfect disagreement, my lord. Where would you like us to take it from?
Come, sir. Please let William believe he still has a chance of winning us over. Otherwise, his imprecations will lack panache, and we shall be bored stiff.
Oh, let me reassure you, I am convinced that a good night's sleep has brought sound advice, and that this morning will be even more interesting. Therefore, I would like to go around the table in order to hear everyone's first impressions.
Well, I am still firmly against it, even though my choice won't count.
Against.
Against. Against.
And you, Luc Manuel?
Against, of course.
Well, as for me, I am for Lord Mortimer's project, despite Duchess Hillsborough's overwhelmingly convincing nocturnal attentions.
What? So Emily was playing at trying to win over guests last night?
It was nothing more than a friendly little chat, of course.
How could it be otherwise? And by the way, remember me to your husband when you see him. And you, President Washington, what is your position?
Well, you see, Monsieur Bonaparte, I would rather you'd have forgotten me for a minute. William, I am sorry, but I cannot follow you this time.
George? What?
I am against William. Please excuse me. I cannot commit the United States to such an enterprise. It's just too risky.
Well, that leaves just yourself and Monsieur Peru, Louis.
You're all making me sick. Look at yourselves.
What?
You are pathetic!
Have you been drinking or what?
There you are, quibbling away. My Lord Duke this, and Madame Duchess that. You know very well that we're nothing but puppets on a damn string.
Jacques, really?
Let's end the charade. It's over.
Jacques?
My lord, thank you for everything you've done for me over the years. But it didn't come for free. And now I see the price is too high to pay. I'll stop.
Come, Jacques, we'll talk it over.
No, I'm finished. I want my freedom back, my lord. I shall no longer work for you.
Wait!
De Richet, you just can't help it, can you? Stop trying to play the hero, man!
Attends. Donc attends, il est vulnérable à étiquette et psychologie. Fais-moi voir les icônes. Étiquette et psychologie, je crois que c'est ça. La couronne et le point d'exclamation. Est-ce qu'il est... Il est pas immunisé à psychologie.
Jack, calm down. You're frightening everyone. Look at yourself. This is not the real you. Come on.
Rest assured, my friends, you're in no danger from me.
Bon bah... Bon bah voilà. Hein. Bon, eh ben... C'est... Ah, c'est quand même con ça. Ouais. Putain, il y en a quand même deux qui sont morts, quoi. What the fuck, man? Non, la compétence niveau 2 te donne 3... ça réduit de 3 le coût. La compétence max, c'est toujours gratuit. Alors que le niveau 1, en fait, ça coûte le... Bah, t'as pas de réduction ni rien, quoi. Ah mais c'est quand même sacrément parti en couille. Bah écoute, j'ai tenté le coup, hein, je veux dire... Je pense pas qu'à part lui, j'avais pas grand chose d'autre à perdre, je suppose. Donc... C'est quoi ça? J'ai gagné un trophée, je sais pas ce que c'est. Je suis curieux, j'aime bien garder les trophées. Compléter, il y a 8ème quête. Ah d'accord. Ah c'est... c'est... Bravo, vous avez fait l'histoire.
I don't understand. I spoke to him only recently.
Monsieur Perrault has lost his mind. It's obvious.
Yet another way for the French to make a spectacle of themselves. Well, once again it has worked.
My friends, let us settle down, please. We are all in shock, of course. Let us praise Louis' gesture anyway. You did what you could. Yes, it was very
Je dis
noble.
un truc, il s'est tiré une balle plus vite.
There
Franchement
was
les gars.
nothing else you could have done. I think everyone needs a little rest. Can you stay a moment?
Of course.
Oh boy. Pourquoi il me propose ça maintenant? Oh putain, j'adore ce jeu. J'ai manipulation linguistique. Ah non, ça c'est... Ah non, linguistique, elle est là. Oh. En logique. Non, logique, ça servira à rien. En agilité. Agilité, ça me servirait. Ça pourrait commencer le truc. Parce que j'en ai qu'un. J'ai même pas mis un truc. Ça, c'est sûr. Ça y passe. Après, j'ai quoi? J'ai diversion, linguistique et logique. Eh ben, de toute façon, les trolls sont niveau 2 déjà, donc... logique... Diversion... Linguistique, je pense pas que ça va m'aider. Diversion non plus. Je pense que je vais prendre logique. Je pense que je vais prendre logique. J'ai pas confiance.
Louis, I wanted to talk to you a moment about what has happened. All this is tragic, but I wanted to thank you for doing what you could.
I wasn't able to save him.
You couldn't, Louis. You mustn't blame yourself.
Mais comme
It
je
is
dis, gros,
not your fault.
je lui ai parlé, il s'est tiré une balle plus vite que ce qu'il voulait, alors tu sais. Attends. Séance. Ça dit pas qu'il est immunisé à l'étiquette, hein. Mais l'étiquette, ça m'étonnerait pas qu'il soit...
I know this has nothing to do with me, my lord, but don't you think you're partly to blame? It won't escape your attention that he incriminated you before he took his own life.
I heard what he said, yeah. Monsieur Peru appeared to blame me for his condition. I certainly encouraged him to succeed, but I wasn't aware he couldn't handle the pressures of the situation. Of course, his duties in Paris were very difficult. The choices he had to make were burdensome. But that was the path he had chosen. Should I not have helped him to succeed, perhaps?
Did you push him into it?
I wouldn't say push, but I did encourage him, yes. I thought it was my duty to help him as much as I could, to become the court judge he dreamed of being. I thought he was capable of it. It appears I was mistaken, unfortunately. What a pity he didn't come and speak to me.
He did.
What do you mean?
He went to talk to you in your study the day before yesterday. Unfortunately, you weren't there.
Well, I was not informed of this. What a waste.
What are your plans now?
What do you mean?
For the conference. After the disappearances of both Elizabeth Adams and my mother, and now the death of Mr. Perlu, I should imagine that your guests are all packing their bags.
This might come as a bit of a shock to you, perhaps because it was so difficult to bring all these figures together. But I am convinced that none of them is preparing to leave.
Ouais. J'arrive à le faire bugger en changeant de... Pourquoi il bug? Je le fais bugger en changeant de choix. Oh, attends. Petit hors contexte, je crois qu'il s'est arrêté de pleuvoir dehors. Voilà, donc je viens d'ouvrir le volet automatique et effectivement il s'est arrêté de pleuvoir. Je vois le ciel, c'est un miracle. Ah, de l'air frais, merci. Je vais enfin pouvoir arrêter le ventilo.
Are you serious?
They are all very experienced politicians. And though they are, of course, affected by the situation, they know full well that such an opportunity will not come again for a long, long time, if ever. They each represent their nation, and know full well that what is at stake here is far greater than the death of poor Monsieur Peru. You'll see. I am confident that they will all be ready to resume the conference.
If you say so. Allow me to take my leave, please.
Of course. You ought to get some rest. Oh, Louis, one more thing, please. What a pity you didn't support me during the conference. I hope I can count on you on the day of the vote. This major project needs men like you, Louis.
I'm flattered, my lord, but I don't know what could possibly make me change my mind.
Please, don't refuse me my last hope.
Don't mix hope with illusion, my lord.
And you, illusion with strategy, my friend.
You win. I'll let you have the last word. I'll see you later, my lord.
Je l'ai bien dit non. C'est un non avec un gros doigt, vraiment. La boîte a été remplacée. Mais vraiment au niveau de des items, c'est la dèche, les points ils fondent, enfin c'est... Vraiment là c'est la merde. Très très clairement ça pue la merde. Et ma chambre et... Putain, pourquoi ils ont fait en sorte que ce soit complètement de l'autre côté? Sans deck. Les mecs. Je suppose que je peux pas descendre. Ouais non. Là du coup c'est quoi? C'est la nuit? C'est le jour? Oh bonjour. Je vous avais pas vu.
Ah, Louis. You were admirable. You didn't manage to save Peru, but whatever you do, don't blame yourself. You did your best.
Au moins ils sont à peu près tous compatissants, je suppose.
Your Eminence.
It's not going to help matters for Mortimer. Now he has one less vote for the conference.
Ah, I see His Eminence is able to identify a good opportunity in every situation.
Now, what do you expect, Louis? The benefit of age. You'll see. You'll learn with time.
Except if I find it disgusting.
But even with such a setback, I'd still be wary of Mortimer. I sense he has still a few surprises in store for us.
Oh, I fully agree with you. I've been told about Washington. Congratulations, Louis. I must admit, though, when I first saw you, I would never have put money on you succeeding. Well, I was wrong.
Thank you, Your Eminence.
On that note, I shall leave you, Louis. I see you later.
Bah du coup j'aimerais bien voir l'autre là. Côte dorée. Mais il est où? Bah justement, attends, il habite où? Il est où sa chambre? À face blanche. À Holm. Wolner, Hadas. Piaggi. Richet. Côte dorée. Bureau de Mortimer. Il habite où aussi, Mortimer? Ok, il y a des trucs chelous qui se cachent. Hein. Et j'ai personne que j'aimerais bien quand même aller voir. C'est possible, c'est elle. J'y vais depuis ouais, je vais du bon côté. Oui, le jeu a au moins eu la décence de me donner 3 points, je sais pas pourquoi, mais du coup j'ai 3 points gratos, c'est toujours ça. Parce que, ouais, j'aimerais bien lui poser la question de pourquoi elle se tire à chaque fois qu'on est ensemble, quoi, c'est... Oui, je peux rentrer. Pas de réponse.
No answer. Nothing.
Emily? Emily, are you there?
Non, bon bah non.
Emily!
Yes. Louis, is that you?
Yes, let me in.
I'm sorry, Louis. I don't feel very well. I'll see you later.
Are you sure everything's all right? Are you still there?
Je peux bouger? Allô? Ah oui. Insistez encore. Le plus gros connard. Il y a un truc. Ah.
I am sorry, sir, but you are unable to access Monsieur Peru's room while we gather his personal effects.
Putain, est-ce que je peux passer par Bonaparte du coup? Ouais. Ça va probablement être là, je suppose. Ah, mais je peux pas sortir. Ah.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Oh, 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 oh. Je le prends. Mais du coup, je peux pas accéder à ni à Péru ni à l'autre. Non, pour moi, clairement, elle mentait. Pour moi, très clairement, elle mentait. Mais bon. Je vais pas la blâmer pour ça. Hein. Ça a bien marché, c'était pour Napoléon. C'est pour, ouais, pour Napoléon, mais j'avais foiré la confrontation. Putain, qu'est-ce que ça doit être quand tu réussis toutes les confrontations, quoi.
Next time, I'll listen to my mother. Not a day has gone by without something happening to me.
La vie de merde, quoi.
What now?
Avant d'ouvrir, je demanderai quand même qui c'est. Qui
Louis,
est.
open up, please.
Coming, Mr. President, I'm coming.
Là, c'est des Américains.
Louis. Oh, there you are at last.
Yes,
I just saw your mother. She was accompanied by Emily, and they both went into the Duchess's room. I tried to join them, but I was refused entry. Louis, this does not bode well.
Oh, shit. Emily might want to avenge her sister. I must act quickly.
You're right, Mr. President. Thank you.
Si le jeu le fait pas automatiquement, je vais essayer de passer par le balcon. Je vais essayer de faire la même chose. Je pense que celle de Pérou, Champ sera encore bloquée. Ouais, il y a des voies, il y a clairement des voies. Pérou est bloqué, ouais. Et là, je peux passer. Je peux passer. On peut au moins rentrer dedans. Après, comme je dis, comme juste avant, on a essayé de rentrer et que ça n'a pas marché. Je pense que ce sera bloqué aussi. Ah ah ah. Je suis trop bon, je suis trop bon.
I have to get inside Emily's room through the... Shit! It's locked.
Bande de fils de... Forcez la fenêtre. YOLO. Ouais, bah là j'ai clairement pas assez de points pour payer ça. Hein. On va crocheter ça vite fait. On va éviter de faire du bruit. C'est pour ça que je veux pas forcer la fenêtre. Mais c'est quand même censé... Finesse. C'est quand même censé te donner un avantage. On pouvait probablement interagir avec un truc, mais je préfère éviter. Bah et alors? Bah et alors? C'est bien sa chambre? Non? Ah si, je t'en mode what? Ah, et apparemment j'ai gagné un truc.
It's as if there are several people inside.
Once again, you're the one who's the
Wait.
victim in all this. What are you on about now? I should never have told you what happened to me. That's how it works, and you know it full well. I'm not that naive. I know you inside out. Stop. We'll end up
Two
losing
coils circle the lock.
J'ai pas la clé. J'espère que c'est worth it.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me until today.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Ouh, un truc de compétence gratuite, ça va être complètement fumé. Par contre, le truc que j'ai pas, c'est une unité...
What on earth is... Mother?
How dare you do this to me? You can talk. After everything I've done for you. You are joking, I hope, right? I gave you my life. That's enough, Emma. Now that Louis is here, you will leave Sarah alone. Cease your revenge immediately. What? If you think you're
Oh mon
going
dieu,
to...
non. Non. Ah super. Il y en a une qu'on arrive à percer comme pas possible, et l'autre... L'autre c'est... Il y en a une, c'est un mur, c'est une passoire, c'est tout ce que tu veux, et l'autre on la connaît absolument pas.
Help me, I beg you. I can no longer reason with her. I am Emily. Quit playing games. What? Honestly, don't be ridiculous.
Si on pouvait déjà baisser les armes, ce serait
I am
sympa.
Emily. You are wasting your time. Louis knows very well how to tell us
Putain,
apart.
ce bordel.
After everything we've been through together.
Yes, well...
Don't you dare bring him into this. This is between you and me. I ask for nothing more, so stop taking it out on Sarah. You prissy little bitch! How dare you! Now that I've told you everything, you want to take my place, do you? You are joking.
Identifier Emily.
I'm the one
Non.
who told you everything that's been going on while you were away. Go on then. That's what you want, isn't it?
Pas ma voix.
You want to kill me. Go on then, shoot! After all the trouble I've gone through to find you. Go on. What are you waiting for? Here, Louis, take this.
Wait, what's going...
An entire life for this. Go on, shoot! Sorry, Louis, I can't shoot her. She's my sister. That's enough, Emma. Louis, out of the way. She's dangerous. Don't trust her. What are you trying to do? Louis, out of the way. I am not Emma. Come on, Louis, tell her who the real Emily is.
Wait,
That's right, Louis. I'm fed up with this little game. Tell him who the real Emily is.
Oh, Why
do these things always happen to me?
Well,
Pourquoi ça m'arrive qu'à moi,
Louis,
ces
come
trucs
on,
cons?
you know how to tell us apart, right?
Yes, but... I'd like to ask you a few questions to make sure there's no doubt.
Rational and open, Louis. Let's see. How can I tell them apart? Wait, I've got an idea.
On the night of our arrival...
C'est pas du tout la première question. C'est pas du tout le premier truc à qui je me savais. Je m'en fous, j'ai les VOD. Et en plus, attends, inventaire. Je crois que j'ai son mouchoir. Voilà. Emily. Ah, ouais, mais sauf que c'est 2 E. Je peux encore couiller par ça. Putain, vous êtes complètement casse-couilles, les gars. Ah ouais, non, pour le coup, ouais, non, je m'attendais pas à ça. Bah, écoute, c'est elle qui a l'arme. Je crois que c'était le pape. Non, mais je vais très clairement regarder mes VOD, les gars. Hein. Donc, ça va prendre un peu de temps. Hein. Mais je veux garder ma waifu en vie. Tu vois, ce serait quand même vachement mieux. Ouais. Est-ce qu'à 10 minutes, on était encore à peu près sur les ports? On n'était même pas arrivé sur les ports. Dans 12 minutes, je devrais quand même... Je peux te dire qu'à 12 minutes, j'étais déjà dans ma chambre en train de coucher. Oui, c'était bien le pape. C'était bien le pape. Qui était avec nous? Quel est mon métier? Que m'est-il arrivé? Que m'avez-vous donné?
Who was with us on the wharf?
Cardinal Piaggi. He was with us from when we started traveling by ship. We arrived on the same boat. I already told her, Louis. Another question, then. I'm the one who told you.
Right. Let's find something else. Ah, yes. Let's speak about my arrival at the manor.
J'avoue.
On the night of our arrival, we were warming ourselves in front of the fire. Mortimer welcomed us in a certain way. What happened exactly?
Well played, Louis. Unfortunately, I'm not the one you should have asked that.
Attends. Oh non, ça marche pour les deux.
Question 2. Mortimer did not welcome us. It was Sir Gregory who welcomed us that night. Mortimer didn't show up until 2 days later. I know that as well.
Very well.
Let's try something else.
On the first night, we went up to bed, but I wasn't tired. I went for a little stroll.
Attends, c'est moi là, je joue le corps de ma mère, elle vient de pusher. Cette scène est de plus en plus débile. Vous m'avez reproché quelque chose.
Do you remember if we saw each other that night or not?
Not at all. Don't think you're going to get away with this deception so easily. I can assure you, you're going to regret pretending to be me once Louis has exposed you.
Right. I don't think I'll get very far. I'll have to find something better.
Oh, I don't think I'll even wait until he's finished.
Take it easy now.
Are you mad, Louis?
Lower your arm.
I better act quickly if I don't want things to get out of hand.
Come on, she's putting one over on you. Look at yourself for crying out loud. You were prepared to shoot me down.
In the secret room behind the study. Talk to them about what you've been doing. Maybe they haven't spoken about it between each other yet.
On the night of the disappearance of Elizabeth Adams.
What about it? What do you want to know about that night?
Oh non. Alors, allez vous faire foutre. Honnêtement, je pense que c'est celle qui est derrière moi qui la ferait. Comment a-t-elle passé la Gorgogne? Qu'a-t-elle trouvé derrière la cheminée? Faites-la parler des objets que vous avez trouvés.
We found ourselves in Mortimer's secret gallery. What did we find in that room?
A load of old junk that Mortimer had collected. A so-called Pandora's box in the form of an urn. An old sheepskin that he must take for the Golden Fleece. The Bible of Judas. Property deeds as old as the hills. And a broken old sword. You are wasting your time, Louis. She already knows all that. Of course I do. I was there. That's enough! I've had enough of this charade. Louis, there's only one way to tear us apart. There's just one thing I didn't tell her about in detail. Too bad for you, Emma. I didn't want it to come to this, but you leave me no choice. Ask her about you and I. You just lost, Emma. I indeed didn't tell you everything about it. Come, Louis. Speak about our intimacy.
Very well. Let's talk about us.
Je sais pas quoi faire. Quelle était la raison de votre visite hier soir? De quoi avez-nous parlé la nuit dernière? Pourquoi avons-nous passé la nuit? Attends, est-ce qu'elle... Elle est vulnérable... Elle est vulnérable à la psychologie. J'espère que je me suis adressé à la bonne. Parce que sinon je vais le payer cher.
Last night, you came to visit me and I can't help wondering why. Why did you come to my room?
Louis, you must be mistaken. I did not go to your
Ok, c'est celle d'en face qui
and
c'est la
that's where
fausse.
your little game ends, Emma. Because I never told you about it. So, there you can't answer. What? No! You didn't do that. I didn't want you to be jealous. React whenever you felt you were competing against a man. You dirty...
That's enough. I've had enough of this charade. That's enough, both of you. Now I know who the real Emily is.
La Emily en face de vous. La Emily derrière. Elle est derrière.
You are Emily Hillsborough.
I knew you wouldn't get it wrong, Louis. No! You...
Profileur. L'usage de la capacité me coûte un point d'effort en moi. Allez!
Bitch! Watch out, Louis! No!
Hell, what have I done?
Tout le monde meurt,
See
c'est
what
abusé.
you've done.
C'est toi qui appuies sur la gâchette du glande. Ah. Oh là, une fille revenue.
Louis? What on earth is going...
Mother! Go. You must leave. Everyone's going to arrive.
Louis, what's going on?
Duchess? Is everything all right?
Go! Go, Mother! No one must find you here.
Go.
Come, Louis. There's nothing more you can do.
But I...
Leave us.
Emily, what's going on?
Mother, go to the crypt. I'll meet you there.
I'll be waiting for you.
C'est parti tellement en couille. J'ai pas compris pourquoi.
I'm coming in.
It was bound to end like...
Je sais pas si vous avez vu l'animation Has-Been Hotel. Là, j'imagine trop le gars. Je sais qu'il y avait une connerie où t'avais le démon de la radio qui enfonce une porte en prenant la star pornographique comme bélier. Là, j'imagine trop place de j'imagine trop, tu vois, Holm, tu vois, je vais prendre Washington pour bélier. Ah putain. Je m'attendais, en streamant ce soir, je m'attendais pas à que ça parte en couille comme ça, sans déconner. Ah, god damn.
Louis. Let me stay with her, please. Go, I'll cover you.
Ah, d'où Jésus, mais je vais pas me faire griller par Napoléon, du coup. Si je peux passer par Pérou, je le fais. Je suis bien en face de Pérou. Même pas. À moins que le GPS de la map me paume. Je crois que c'est le cas d'ailleurs. Bah, apparemment c'est le seul endroit où on peut passer. Et comme par hasard Napoléon n'y est pas. C'est quand même vachement beau ça. On va quand même fouiller puisqu'on a obtenu le truc sans laisser de traces. Tu sais, tu prends un truc à la con. Ouais, eh ben... Je vois trop le mec qui enfonce. Je te jure, je vois tellement Washington servir tellement bien d'allié.
They're all here. They must have heard the gunshot.
Where is Lord Mortimer?
Can anyone hear anything through the door?
Eh ben... Si je dois rejoindre ma mère, je passe par l'autre côté. Je vais pas me passer la tête. Même si ça paraît quand même vachement suspect, hein, j'ai envie de te dire. Enfin, je serais quand même curieux de savoir qu'est-ce qui s'est passé pour qu'on se retrouve dans une situation aussi stupide. Oui. Au moins, elle se fait pas chier avec le papier d'identité, hein, j'ai envie de te dire. Donc bon, qu'est-ce qu'on s'en fout. D'un autre côté, hein, voilà. Mais ce que je comprends pas, c'est que à la fin de l'épisode 2, il y avait une serviteur qui s'était calé derrière nous dans la crypte, et au début du 3, il avait disparu. Alors ça, par contre, j'ai du mal à comprendre où il est passé. Je vais être honnête. Et merde. Putain, ils auraient pas pu faire en sorte d'ouvrir un passage, quelque chose comme ça, que ça nous donne directement à la crypte, ou de te faire chier comme ça sans déconner les gars. Je sais bien que ça se fait pas en 2 jours à l'époque, enfin quand en 5 minutes, mais bon. Et j'espère... Oh, franchement, j'espère qu'il n'y aura pas une confrontation avec notre mère, parce que franchement, là, c'est... Non, là, ce serait du total bullshit. Franchement, ce serait du bullshit.
Louis! At last, there you are.
Elle vient de popper de n'importe où.
Wait,
Come, we have to be quick.
No, wait, Mother,
Time is running out, Louis. First, we must...
No! That's enough. I won't go a step further unless you explain to me what is going on here. I'm begging you. Talk to me.
You must trust me, my son. You are not ready yet.
You're the one who should trust me. Tell me what's happening.
You would never believe me.
I came all the way here for you. Now I've found you. I'm ready, Mother.
If only... Louis, I have always taught you to keep your mind open and logical. I know you are going to find it hard to believe, but what I am going to reveal to you is entirely true. Many years ago, I found out that demons really do live among us.
I beg your pardon?
And that they can influence our thoughts.
Mother, listen to yourself. I know you're exhausted, but for crying out loud, listen to what you're saying. Demons? What next? An ancient monster with a head like an octopus? What
Un
do your
grand ancien avec une
demons
tête
look
de
like?
poulpe. La bonne petite référence à Cthulhu.
Have they got horns and a pointed tail?
No, these are not creatures with billy goat's legs. Forget your Christian folklore. Imagine them more as parasitic spirits. They possess their hosts and direct them from inside.
Parasitic spirits?
Yes, they are capable of going from one body to another as they see fit. And 2 of them are present on this island.
Right. So let me guess.
Pourquoi le croque-mitaine et le Père Noël? J'ai tellement envie de répondre ça pour se foutre de sa gueule, franchement.
Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory, right?
You felt it too?
No, even if Home does look the part. But I don't know who else could do it, given that we're on their territory.
Many years ago, well before you were born, I crossed paths with one of them. Since then, I've spent my life trying to find it again. When we recovered the Alizif, I was persuaded that von Burchard was working for this demon in one way or another. But I thought he would hand the book to a middleman during this conference. That's where I made an error that could well turn out to be fatal. The one who Burchard was meant to give the book to was none other than the demon in person, Mortimer. Not to mention that Home had sent Volner to get it for him.
Home and Mortimer are demons?
They both seem to disagree about...
C'est peut-être pour ça qu'il a su que j'étais là. Et vu l'influence qu'il a, ça pourrait très bien être valable. Mais, même si ça me paraît quand même un plan assez foireux là, ce qu'elle nous sort, mais bon.
But I'll admit I never knew exactly why. There are many of them, Louis. Not just those 2.
Mother, have you any proof to support any of this?
Of course, but you do too. You had everything laid out in front of you. Didn't you notice anything?
Alors le feu me cache le dialogue complètement, non pas dans ses délires, non. Je vais dire oui, simplement pour voir. Son bureau secret, le fait que personne ne... Quoi?
I went beyond the nightmare, Mother.
You understood the Masonic date.
1191.
Of course! It was during that siege that the demon took possession of Sir Mortimer. They spent a whole night in conversation until the early hours of the morning. Mortimer had passed the test. He had charmed the demon, and so it chose him to be its host for centuries to come. But tell me, Did you find his secret study?
I did indeed.
Did you see his maps of the world?
He has contacts the world over.
Yes, I've been developing the Golden Order across the world for many years, and I've never seen anyone with such influence. It's simply inhuman.
I must admit, I found it difficult to understand how and why Mortimer didn't have a place in history.
On the continent, Mortimer and Holm are mere dandies who organize society balls. History forgets them with a disconcerting facility. No one speaks about them, and yet they whisper in the ears of kings and presidents.
You mean the conference?
How can you explain that someone manages to bring together so many important figures without anyone knowing?
And without any security or personnel. Well, those property deeds across the world, all signed by the same hand, and over several centuries.
I am proud of you, Louis.
I found your notes, written in lemon juice.
Where all eyes size you up. At one stage, I was so afraid of losing my mind that I noted everything down. Congratulations, Louis. Wait, please tell me you didn't open Pandora's box.
The urn? No, I didn't. Why?
Good. We'll deal with it later.
Attends, là c'est peut-être moi qui est complètement parano, mais je crois qu'il y a justement un trophée qui dit ouvrir la jarre. Oui, téméraire, ouvrir la boîte de Pandore. Il y a bien un trophée qui dit ça. Donc, si on l'a trouvé, si on l'a vu, s'il y avait cette jarre quelque part, bah je l'ai pas vu. C'est simplement ça. Parce que là, c'est la première fois que j'entends le truc. Donc bon.
Louis, I am proud of you. You came all this way. You found me. You have surpassed me.
You taught me everything I know. Right. How did it all begin?
I saw him!
What do you mean you saw him?
I was 20 years old. I was young and carefree. I traveled the world in search of adventure. In the Persian Gulf, we came across an ancient grimoire that became unlocked. Composed of 7 parts, each one was a book in itself, set in a sort of metal armor that structured the whole thing. When all the volumes were brought together, they formed a single book. On my return to Paris, I set to studying these pages. I spent all my days and nights studying them.
Oh, I can imagine you doing that.
But the writing was in a language I had never seen before, developed well before Sumerian in my opinion. So I got the idea to form a small occult circle composed of all the major names in the occult world to see if anyone else could crack it.
And you found no one.
And I found someone, Louis. I found him. Or rather, he found me. He was young, charismatic. He was flamboyant.
You mean Mortimer?
He was a veritable mine of knowledge. I showed him the book, and he was able to decipher a few passages. We spent several months together studying the pages.
He was already old in those days, wasn't he? So you recognized him when you arrived on the island, right?
No, he wasn't in that body. But I know it was him. I swear it was him. The way he spoke, his posture, a few of his intonations, his mannerisms.
Wait a minute. You were talking about 60 years ago. I've lost the thread.
Yes, sorry. He helped me understand certain passages until I realized that he only translated a few parts for me. But I had aroused his interest. It was too late.
How so?
I mean to say he manipulated me. He used me, and in the end, he stole the book with all its secrets.
Did he ever go to your place?
Not once. At least I don't think so. But before disappearing, he proposed a pact between us. He proposed that I follow him and let him teach me, allow him to bring me up.
And you refused, of course.
Why, naturally, Louis. You don't make deals with the devil. After that, I spent my whole life looking for him. 3 years later in Berlin, I just missed him. In London, I lost 6 members of the Order in a chase. In 1741, in Tunisia, I found a sect of fanatics who had crossed paths with him once. 1741, in Poland. 1749, in India.
8 years ago in Venice.
We agreed never to speak about what happened in Venice, Louis.
You agreed, and that was before you spoke to me about demons. Wait, the baby we delivered, you and me, that night in Venice, did he have anything to do with Lord Mortimer?
The child was his son.
We stole his son? Are you insane? I always thought we took him to save him.
That was the case. It was precisely to save him from his father.
Need I remind you the mother died during childbirth? What became of the child?
Later. For the moment, that is not the key issue here. Once we found the Al-Azif in Paris, I followed von Borchart's trail here. Demon, it was careless of me. He toyed with me for a few days, until I caught on, until I saw him as he was. But he had no intention of letting me leave. We are all his pawns, Louis, and if we don't want to spend the rest of our lives turning round in circles here, we must absolutely get off this island. All right, can we move on?
Wait a minute, one last thing.
Pourquoi des canons avec... J'avoue, la main...
I want to know what happened between you and Emily's sister.
Great responsibility often brings difficult choices, Louis. That's all you need to know.
Mother, I won't take a step further if you don't answer me.
You dare blackmail me?
I'm listening.
All right, I used her. So there you are. Happy now? We had the Al-Azif, and I didn't think we would be able to escape with it. In order to ensure that the book did not fall into their hands, or that one of them couldn't read in us where we had hidden it, I asked Emily to...
It's Emma.
Yes, or rather for me, it was Emily. So I asked Emma to hide it without anyone seeing. And then I disposed of her. I am sorry for her, but she was part of the Golden Order, Louis. She knew the rules when she joined.
Ah, donc c'est pas qu'un truc. Hein?
What was going on with the cannons in Tuscany?
It was nothing.
Since when does the Order finance wars?
The cannons for that Bonaparte fellow? Listen. Once in the lion's den, I did whatever I could to appear legitimate. So yes, I pretended to be interested in Mortimer's project about a young military man who was seeking funding for a foundry in Tuscany. Between you and me, if buying China would have enabled me to escape, I would have signed without hesitation.
What did you negotiate about the Al-Azif with Volner?
Absolutely nothing. I managed to pull the wool over his eyes until I found a way to flee.
I want to know what happened with Elizabeth Adams.
Louis, we haven't time for those details.
I'm sorry, Mother, but I want to know.
She was one of the receptacles for these monsters. I met her parents when she was born. One of the demons got inside her. The demon used her to spy on her father, John Adams. He is one of the founding fathers and vice president of the United States, you know.
Mortimer possessed her?
No, I don't think it was Mortimer. Her father, John Adams, hired me to tend to her, but the evil in her was too deep. In spite of the various treatments I tried on her, I never succeeded in getting it out of her. It's not something I'm proud of, Louis, but I had to try everything.
Mother, did you kill her?
Of course not. Don't be stupid. I had no interest in getting rid of her.
Donc on sait toujours pas qui c'est qui l'a tué. Ouais, la
Are you
main.
going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
Are you going to tell me what happened to your hand?
Better than that, I shall show you.
Je pense que c'est ce qu'il y a après. Hein.
Samuel Ritter du Choix. You wanted to send me a letter about Godoy.
I wanted you to run a check on Duke Manuel. But frankly, it doesn't really matter anymore now. Godoy is just a pawn like the others. He is not the one I was looking for.
On the evening of my arrival, Cardinal Piaggi came looking for you. He was determined to give you a letter.
More of his lists. Louis, I think I know what's in that letter, and I beseech you to believe that it is the least of our worries. We can sort that out later.
Good. I think that's about right. We shall speak about it once we get back to France.
Great actions for humanity have been decided by demons for centuries, Louis. They are playing with our destiny. We are their slaves. And it's time for it to stop. By the way, what was Mortimer's project at this conference?
He demands that the Spanish hand over Louisiana to France.
Oh, knowing him, it won't stop there. We should do our utmost to put a stop to Mortimer's plans. But for the time being, there are more pressing matters.
Are you going to tell me why we're here?
Oh, fuck, man.
There. That's why we are here.
Bethesda. « 14 points. Non, t'es sérieux? Oh non, mais là ça se fout de ma gueule. Là c'est du foutage de gueule. Double jeu, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Compléter la 9ème quête. Yeah.
Reassure me, we aren't going to have to force that one, are we?
I don't think we're even capable of doing it. You're going to have to find a way to open it.
Why, of course. And what's inside?
Something to vanquish them with?
Perfect. So, how does it open?
We'll need several keys. I found a note from the architect who conceived the mechanism in Mortimer's secret study. We have to first gather 6 objects before we try anything.
Are your 6 objects the keys?
Exactly. We have the Clement III cross, the nails, the Gutenberg Bible, the exegesis of Judas, an armillary sphere, and all we need to match up the dates between the different calendars.
Why a cross?
Well, I haven't the foggiest idea, but it just so happens that's what you are going to use to activate the mechanism. I found the one Mortimer kept. It belonged to Cardinal Guibert, better known by the name of Pope Clement III.
Perfect. Where is it?
Unfortunately, I've lost it. When I lost my hand, I went dashing out, and it must have fallen from my pocket.
Remember, Mother. I'm certain you can remember.
Let me think.
You were running.
I was bleeding to death.
You remember the pain.
I thought I was going to faint. Yes, I remember. I don't think it can be far, can it?
Would you have lost it outside?
No, I don't think so. It must be in the area. I don't remember going up with it.
Perfect. I'll search the crypt before leaving.
Ok, donc elle est dans la crypte. Il y en a une qui est dans la crypte.
Some nails?
Don't ask me. I'm not the one who made the mechanism, you know. When I arrived, there were already a few of them inserted, so I didn't have to worry about those. On the other hand, I remember seeing some in Mortimer's secret study, behind his nightmare.
And a golden cup? Yes. Yes, I saw them too.
Perfect. It will be easy for you to find them then. You need 3 of them.
Very well.
You remember what to do about the rollers. 1191 to enter, and 6466 to exit.
Of course.
Donc dans le bureau caché derrière le truc, c'est 1191 et 6466 pour sortir.
Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is, and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking. It's the study of a text with a summary, not an actual Bible. Anyway, well done for the Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Donc il va falloir retourner derrière là-bas. Oh nom de Dieu.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
Yes, but it's enormous. If you don't want to have to go back and forth several times, then I suggest you get a smaller one.
What did you do then?
I didn't think I'd need one. I started without one, and I lost my hand before I did need one. And you can see the result.
There's one in the portrait gallery.
That's right.
You still believe it's in the tower room, don't you?
I don't know. There is only one way to find out, though.
Right. I shall go and see.
Donc dans la tour... Oh putain, ça va être un
What do you mean by the concordance of dates exactly?
Don't worry about that. We already have them. They are written on the back of the message I just gave you.
Donc ça c'est dans la crypte. Ça c'est dans le cauchemar de Mortimer, donc derrière son tableau.
Exegesis. Anything else?
Did you manage to vanquish the Medusa?
To open the chimney? Yes, absolutely.
So you've already come across it. It's the Bible of Judas that is exposed in the secret room behind the chimney.
Why do they call it an exegesis?
Because that's what it is,
Donc
and not an apocryphal Bible, strictly speaking.
Méduse, dans la salle secrète, dans la Bible, voilà,
with a
c'est la
summary,
Bible.
not an
Donc
actual
le cauchemar,
Bible.
crypte,
Anyway, well done for the
Bible.
Gorgon. You did well. You didn't get tricked by the light bouncing back.
Thanks. Do you think I can take it safely?
We haven't got a choice, Louis. Without it, we won't be able to work out this cursed mechanism.
Ça va falloir se balader dans la galerie des portraits, et ça je crois que c'est aussi. Ça c'est marqué sur la note, ok.
One last thing before you go. Be very careful. If you come across anyone, they can all potentially be spies of Mortimer or Holm. Don't ever confide in anyone because a demon can slip inside them at any moment.
Wait, not all of them though. Take Washington.
Especially Washington. He's been conditioned by Mortimer for years. Look at them, for crying out loud. How do you explain their behavior otherwise? The most influential politicians in the Western world gather together without the least protection, without a single aid to assist them, to participate in a conference during which the guests start dropping like flies. Me, Adams, Peru, Hillsborough. Look at the number of calamities that have happened over the past few days. And not one of them has asked to leave the island? Do you find that normal? You'll see. Go up to the manor to look for the keys, and I wager not one of them will speak to you about my being in Emily's room.
Do you think so?
Go on, you'll see. And come back with all the objects in one go. Time is against us. And remember, the code to get out of the secret office is 6646.
Ah oui, c'est vrai, je dois fouiller la pièce.
Bazant.
Famous cross of Clément III.
Ok, bah c'est bon, on l'a trouvé. Lynx.
Key found.
Putain, bordel. C'est un bordel. Et je pense que si j'étais pas bloqué dans la tour, si j'avais pas été bloqué dans le bureau de Mortimer, j'aurais pu, on aurait pu commencer à chercher ces trucs en avance. Et donc du coup on aurait plus eu le temps de se balader, tu vois. Alors ça je sais pas si c'est un bug ou autre chose, mais... Je sais pas du tout où je vais là, je te jure. Ah bah vraiment il y a quelque chose de...
Greek drachma. One of the rare ancient coins to be mentioned both in the Bible and in the Quran.
Alors le chemin le plus court pour aller à Mortimer, on va sortir, on va rentrer, ça va être là. On va monter là, ça va être là. Ok. Définitivement c'est le plus court. Mais ouais, pour le coup, franchement ça doit être l'épisode le plus intéressant depuis le début.
This time, it'll be a lot quicker. If I remember rightly, the code was 1191.
Dis-moi que le jeu va pas nous faire le truc de attention, tu peux. Bah si, il va nous faire. Tu peux choisir.
If I remember correctly, the code was 1191.
Bah c'est bien ça.
Of course.
Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor. Gilhelm Trimor. Trimor. An anagram of Mortimer. Wow. Arrogant enough to publish writings on mental control in full view of everyone. I wonder who he's writing for. Weaknesses of the Human Psyche by Gilhelm Trimor. A hand of tarot cards. I should have learned my lessons in card reading a little better.
Oh, les gars, on s'en fout, on a déjà scanné.
There.
Et voilà.
Those are the nails I was looking for.
Pourquoi j'aurais besoin de les analyser?
All right, come on, let's get out of here. 6466, if I remember correctly.
Tiens, j'ai trouvé les clous. Pourquoi je devrais me prendre la tête? Donc maintenant, deuxième étape, c'est la chambre de la tour, qui est juste en face de moi.
Ah, Louis. Glad you're here.
Blasted. He's gonna talk about my mother.
Come and see what I've found. There are pieces of paper in the ashes of the chimney. Someone's been burning something here.
Incredible. He doesn't seem to want to speak to me about what happened between my mother and the Hillsborough sisters. Show me a little.
Look, it's possible to distinguish two different writing styles.
The rest of the correspondence between my mother and Emma.
Someone tried to burn an exchange of messages. I'm certain there must be more.
Shit. What on earth is he doing? Ah, I see. I know what it's about.
Do you know who was doing their communicating in this room?
Yes, but of course we must keep it to ourselves, because it is still a sensitive matter. Volner and Elizabeth had an affair. Volner hinted that he found a way to remain discreet about it. I admit it is ingenious.
Well, I would never have guessed.
Delighted to have helped, but I still have to find my mother.
Of course. We shall see each other later in that case.
Wasted enough time. The Bible.
Putain, qu'est-ce qu'il fout ici, George?
The Bible's still there.
Ok. Maintenant, va falloir aller, je crois, c'est ici. Ouais. J'aimerais bien parler avec toi, Lady America, mais malheureusement, je ne peux pas m'occuper de toi maintenant. J'avoue que la musique, je trouve qu'elle va bien avec, en même temps de pas aller du tout avec. C'est assez étrange. Mais je sais pas, ça passe. Franchement, j'aime bien. Ce jeu est vachement bien.
Right.
Let's see if the statues are in place yet. That statue is not positioned correctly. Open sesame.
C'est tout.
Given all the relics preserved here, it wouldn't surprise me if Mortimer claimed it was Excalibur. So that's the exegesis of Judas. I hope Mortimer doesn't read it very often, otherwise he's going to notice that someone's stolen it. But that's just too bad. I need it. So that's Pandora's box? An urn? Mother seemed worried that I was able to open it. I wonder why. So, I did well not to touch it.
D'accord, donc elle est là.
Right. I've got what I need. Now let's not waste any more time.
Et alors pour ça, c'est la très grande question.
Right. It's definitely an armillary sphere, but I have to find one that I can take with me. Otherwise I risk drawing too much attention to my comings and goings. Now, where can I find a smaller one?
Je vois pas du tout. Si, il parle d'un télescope, je sais où il y en a un. Il y en avait un, c'était derrière sur le balcon de Piaggi. Là, je pense que le jeu va nous laisser tourner un peu. Ne va pas nous bloquer à un endroit en particulier, tu vois. Oui.
I have no time to lose, so I might as well not bother him.
Inferno by Dante. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Lovely lectures Mortimer's giving to his guests. Very jolly.
Eh coucou. Pardon. Mais ouais, il y avait un télescope, putain.
Permalite water will give me a little reprieve.
Je vois la foudre dans le ciel, des éclairs, mais pas de son. Il n'y a pas de balcon, ok.
Prometheus, punished for stealing fire from the gods and giving it to man.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. Dear Monsieur Peru.
All right. I've retrieved everything.
Great. Honey.
Dear friend, please come and join.
J'ai aucune idée de ça peut être.
the alchemist as a young man.
An armillary sphere. Perfect. That will save me some time. I only hope that he isn't going to realize it right away.
On se casse. Putain, la musique qui s'accélère. Je me doutais que c'était chez lui, pourquoi? Parce que lui il s'intéresse vraiment à l'occultisme, la physique, je pense vraiment les séances ou les recherches, des trucs comme ça quoi. Non, c'est bon, encore là.
So, good. You've managed to gather all the keys.
Yes, that's right. I have everything. What should I start with?
Place the Clement III cross on the console. Then you have to put the nails on the disc of the door.
What theme did you start with?
As the fresco shows the birth of Christ, I placed one nail in Bethlehem, one in chapter 2, and one in verse 6. The iris opened a little. I thought it was normal. Behind the aperture of the iris, there is a duct in which I put my hand. I felt something like a valve at the bottom. I thought by turning it the door would open, or the iris would open completely, or something else would happen. Instead, I felt something like an axe cut off my hand. I really thought it was the end of me.
What did you do then?
Well, although I had made some unfortunate choices, I was lucky in that Mortimer was well stocked with drugs. I raided his supplies of medicine.
What hole should I put the nails in?
Well, I can't really advise you there, because I haven't exactly made the best choices myself. All I can say is that you have to insert 1 to choose a town, 1 to choose a chapter, and 1 to choose a verse. Those are Roman numerals on the disc.
All right, my turn now.
Go ahead, impress me. I'll shut up and let you concentrate.
This exegesis contains comments from Judas on the different Gospels. It only contains certain chapters and verses, and the chapters are indicated by Roman numerals. The lexicon refers to different chapters and verses from the exegesis of Judas.
Bethesda.
Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem.
Chapter 14, verse 22. And as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and broke it, and gave to them and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." And he took the cup, and when he'd given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. Chapter 14, verse 22. On the 7th of Nisan, 3793, Jesus shared his Last Supper in the Cenacle in Jerusalem. Chapter 5, verse 2. Jesus cures the sick and lame on the 8th of Adar, 3791, in Jerusalem, at the pool of Bethesda. All stand and fling away their canes. Chapter 5, verse 2. Now, there is at Jerusalem, by the sheep market, a pool, which is called, in the Hebrew tongue, Bethesda, having 5 porches. In these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of the blind, halting, and withered, waiting for the moving of the water. Jesus saith unto him, Rise, take up thy bed, and walk. And immediately the man was made whole, and took up his bed, and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The cycle of the moons has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. The fresco clearly shows the birth of Christ.
Louis, I can assure you that that is not the solution to this enigma. This fresco's only purpose is to mislead. I know that now. Please, focus on another theme about Christ.
We'll have to trust her. Mortimer deliberately set a trap by showing the birth of Christ, then maybe the solution is the contrary. The death of Christ in that case? Yes, it's definitely a representation of the birth of Christ, but some of the details have flaked away. I can't see any other clues. One thing is for sure, this enigma deals with the life of Jesus, like my mother said. It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions. There are 3 styles of writing, and I've got 3 nails. There must be a link. I must surely put in 1 nail per category. Clearly, we have names of towns, Arabian numerals, and Roman numerals. Cross is stuck in the mechanism. I can't do anything. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
It looks like there are 3 types of inscriptions.
Ok, ça garde le quel clou t'as mis. Donc ça, j'ai compris la ville.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 19, verse 17.
Donc 19 et 17.
And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and 2 others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst.
Donc 19 et 17. Il y a un 17.
It works.
Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
Mettre sa main. Non.
There must surely be a connection between the wheels.
La roue des lunes qui est au milieu, d'accord.
This wheel represents the different moons. In the occult sciences, we represent the full moon by an X. As for the dark moon, called the new moon, in cults, it's often associated with something harmful. This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1 letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date.
Putain, je sais que le nouvel an c'est la naissance de Jésus, mais alors sa mort, j'en ai aucune idée quelle date c'est là par contre.
There are different icons on this wheel, but it looks like some of them can't be connected to the other wheels. Now, given the difference between the number of icons and the number of towns, I think that only one path connects all the wheels with one another. Let's try to connect the theme I've chosen with the rest. Mother, what do you think?
As I told you, I didn't get that far. Nevertheless, these icons do represent moments in the life of Christ.
Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon.
Ok. Je crois que c'est une croix, ce qui est en bas. On va mettre la croix. Là. Alors là, je dis les dates par contre. Et la lune aussi, hein. Quelque chose de néfaste. Donc ce serait peut-être la mort du Christ du coup. Moi je devrais comme ça. Alors la date par contre j'en ai vraiment mais alors aucune idée. Ça doit être dedans. Oh lolo.
During new moon, the moon is entirely in the shadow. Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states. Waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
The moon shadow moves from west to east.
Et alors ça m'aide absolument pas. Attends, donc je pense que c'est relié tout à la date.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
Donc si je prends le 8 Nissan et que j'ai l'option ici. Il me donne pas le truc. Du coup, est-ce que ça me donne une autre date?
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 19, verse 17. And he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of a skull, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him, and two others with him, on either side, and Jesus in the midst. Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793.
Donc là, ce sera sur la thématique. On devra chercher de côté de la thématique.
The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head. Chapter 3, verse 18. Words truly pronounced in Abagash. Chapter 3, verse 18. He that believeth in him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
Ouais. Là, je t'avouerai, je suis complètement paumé. Sauf que les clous, on l'a déjà fait, et ce qu'on a déjà fait, on sait que ça lui va payer cher. Donc...
Chapter 24, verse 3. Jesus rose from the dead on the 14th of Nisan, 3793, in Nazareth. he appeared with a halo above his head. Chapter 24, verse 3. But when they entered, they did not find the body of the Lord Jesus. While they were wondering about this, suddenly 2 men in clothes that gleamed like lightning stood beside them. In their fright, the women bowed down with their faces to the ground. But the men said to them, "Why do you look for the living among the dead? He is not here. He has risen. Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee."
Mon Dieu. C'est déjà le passage de la Bible, ça m'a fait saouler, mais alors là.
Chapter 2, verse 6. Jesus was born of Mary and Joseph on the 22nd of Tebeth at midnight, 3762, in the village of Bethlehem. Chapter 2, verse 6. And so it was that, while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered of a child. And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid.
Parce que là, encore... Je pense que j'ai mis, du coup, pour les symboles, ce qui ressemblait à la crucifixion du Christ. Est-ce que ce rond là-haut ne symboliserait pas la couronne qu'il avait? Ça, par contre, j'en ai aucune idée. Le fait qu'on puisse pas observer de près la serrure, ça pète les couilles, c'est abusé. Oui, non, définitivement, en haut, on dirait un truc à épines.
Look at this. There are notches between each of the wheels. So, I have to link the name of the town from the theme I've chosen to an icon, then to a date, and finally, the date to the moon.
Alors, laisse-moi voir si j'interagis comme ça. Juste.
7th of Shaban, 607, first quarter.
Ouais, voilà, ça me donne juste des trucs comme ça. Donc il faut. Attends, j'ai pas regardé l'équivalence. Wait.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified
Le
on
8
the 8th of
Nissan
Nisan,
3793.
3793, in
Donc
a
c'est
place
le...
near Jerusalem.
Ok, j'ai vu
The
lequel
Romans put
c'était.
a crown of thorns on his head.
7th of Shaban, 607, first quarter.
Donc c'est le premier quartier. Oh putain. Donc là j'ai mis la full moon. Attends, c'est où qu'on voit qu'il dit que ça se déplace dans ce sens-là? Je crois que c'est en observant ça là, non?
During new moon,
Ouais, c'est ça.
the moon is entirely in the
D'ouest
shadow.
en est.
Then, the shadow moves from west to east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full moon, waning gibbous, last quarter, waning crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
Donc d'ouest en est. C'est ça?
During new moon,
D'ouest en est, donc c'est de gauche à droite.
Then, the shadow
Sachant
moves
que c'est
from
le
west
premier
to
quartier.
east, meaning left to right, and goes through the following states: waxing crescents, first quarter, waxing gibbous, full
Ouais,
moon,
donc ce serait
waning gibbous,
premier
last
quartier.
quarter,
Oh non, ça nous dit pas
waning
là.
crescent, and the cycle starts over with the full shadowed new moon.
Premier quartier. On va donc tester.
7th of Shaban,
Premier quartier.
607, first quarter.
Donc, premier quartier. De gauche à droite. On a tendance à dire que c'est celui-là. La rue des... truc des dates. Par contre là les dates, j'ai toujours pas compris la logique qu'il y a dedans. « 26... » J'ai compris que ça correspondait à des voies, genre t'as le 1er avril, là ce serait peut-être le 26 mai ou mars. Il y a le 29 septembre, c'est calibré sur le 29 septembre. J'ai pas l'impression que c'est ça qui va me donner le truc, quoi.
Chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus was crucified on the 8th of Nisan, 3793, in a place near Jerusalem. The Romans put a crown of thorns on his head.
8N ou 7C? 8N ou 7C? M ou non 8 en 8M. Attends, c'est quoi ça? Attends. 8N et 7C. Donc on a 8A, 6M, 17F. Complètement illisible, 29, 26 et le premier. Et il n'y en a aucun qui font 7C ou 8N. Là, je te jure, j'en ai aucune putain d'idée. Il me manque un élément. Il me manque un élément pour faire le lien. Et j'en suis quasiment sûr, c'est dans cette putain de merde encore. Attends. Le clou. Si je fais ça. Se ferme s'il te plaît. Réouvre le truc, ouais. Et alternative choisie et actionner le levier.
It works. Well done, Louis. I hadn't seen those other wheels. Try connecting the theme to see if it goes all the way.
Analyser la France. Sur Golgotha. Golgotha. Évidemment, il n'y a aucune équivalence. Si là j'avais les notes pour me sauver, là je te jure, je comprends pas du tout. Analyser l'ensemble de la porte.
This wheel contains several symbols made up of 1 or 2 figures and 1 letter. The highest figure does not exceed 31, and each letter corresponds to a month of the year. A for April, and M for March. I think these symbols must represent a specific date.
Donc on sait que M c'est Mars, c'est sûr. Est-ce qu'on doit en prendre compte que c'est Mars? Ça je sais pas par contre. À ce que là t'aurais le 26 mars. Tourner la roue des icônes. Tourner la roue des dates. Ah c'est 3, 1, 8A. Donc là 6 mars. 17 février du coup je dirais. Oh ouais, Google est ton ami. Hein. Si Google avait pas envie de se foutre de ma gueule. Date. Le 3 ou le 7. Là il y a un 3. J'ai peur, mais on va tenter comme ça, hein.
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck.
Je vais regarder. Et ouais, non, mais là, je suis en train vraiment de regarder une vidéo, les gars. C'est vraiment à ce point-là. Je veux voir si mon raisonnement était juste, en fait. C'est juste ça. Bon, est-ce que probablement peut-être d'entendre des sons et des conneries comme ça, mais... L'icône, c'était bien la couronne. Le 26M, donc tu vois, c'est pas la bonne date. Donc tu vois, déjà, c'est pas la bonne date. Alors attends, j'ai pas vu la lune par contre. Et c'était la bonne lune, d'accord, donc j'avais que la date. J'avais que la date, c'est le 26M apparemment. Donc non, c'est pas ça que je regardais. Oui, mais désolé de l'attendre, de faire ça en stream, mais... Écoute. Je sais que je me suis foiré. Alors, par contre, je serais curieux de savoir pourquoi 26 26M, c'est censé représenter quoi ça?
I can feel the lever at the bottom.
Good luck. I never doubted you, my son.
Bah c'était vrai. Ben... Ouais. Casse-tête. Là je crois que c'est la fin de l'épisode. Hein. Ouais c'est ça. Hein. Et maintenant c'est 78. Non mais niquez-vous au niveau de l'expérience les gars, ça me pète les couilles là. Ah mais c'est du vol, c'est clairement du vol. Je pense qu'avoir ça en vigilance ne me serait d'aucun... ne serait pas de refus. Ok, donc ça c'est bien la fin de l'épisode 3. Le fer de lance. Le vote final. Le dernier coup. À mon avis, là, à mon avis, les deux derniers vont être vachement battants. Nom de Dieu, ils vont être vachement battants. Putain. Enfin bref, je vous laisse ici, je sais pas quand il y aura les prochains épisodes, quand je pourrai, si je vais faire les deux à la suite, enfin... Mais franchement, pour la porte, la dernière énigme, j'ai pas compris la logique qu'il y avait autour de la date. C'était 26M, là j'ai pas compris. Parce que visiblement c'était pas c'est pas la date exacte de la mort du Christ, donc c'est pour ça j'ai vraiment du mal à comprendre la logique, mais au moins on l'a fait. Je me demande ce qui se passe si tu loupes, si tu te fais arracher le bras aussi. Putain, ça serait quand même vachement con. Mais bon, sur ce, à la prochaine. Je sais pas quand il y aura le 4e épisode. Ou même le 5e pour le moment. Si on fait les deux d'un coup ou pas. Bref. Ciao ciao.